Hello and welcome to this short video on Java programming language. This is going to be an introduction to Java programming language. Now, first of all, what is Java programming language? Remember in our last video we talked about programming languages where we have the likes of Python, Java, JavaScript and the rest of them. So today we are going to be looking at Java programming, which happens to be one of the higher level programming languages that we have. Now Java is a high-level compiled and object-oriented programming language, and it has existed for a while now, currently owned by Oracle. It is high-level because we use English words mostly in writing Java program, and then it is compiled because when we want to run our program, everything gets changed to machine language before it gets executed. And then finally, for the object-oriented concept, we are going to talk about that in the next two sections. So let's see some of the advantage we are going to derive from using Java programming language. Now to start with, we have areas that we can work with Java programming. We have web development, mobile development, and that's specifically for Android operating system, and then desktop applications, database, game development, and so many other cool stuff. The list goes on and on and on and on. And then some of the advantages of using Java programming is the fact that it is simple, it is robust, it is fast, it is scalable. So Java is basically able to handle any type of project you come up with, being it simple, large, big, complex, however it is. Java is always a go-to language for any type of project you want to work on. So let's move quickly to one of the important aspects of Java programming, which is object-oriented. Now before we talk about this future, what exactly is object-oriented programming first? Now object-oriented programming is a way of writing programs in which we see everything as an object. So there are other ways that we can write program. That is, we have the procedural programming, we have the functional programming. But in Java, we are going with the object-oriented programming concept. Okay, it's a must, it's not optional like other programming languages. So in object-oriented programming, we see everything as an object. And those objects usually have data, that is, they have information about themselves, as well as method, which is otherwise known as functionalities that these objects are going to carry out. Now this whole concept about object-oriented programming was borrowed from the real-life view of objects. Let's take a car for example. A car is an object, and a car has a color, it has a weight. Now these are informations about a car. It has a brand and other things. Okay, these are information about the car, and we know that a functional car should be able to move forward, it should be able to reverse, and it should be able to be parked. So these are now functionalities. So apart from a car having a color, a name, which is information about itself, a car can also carry out some functions. It can move to the front, reverse, and then it can be parked. So these are the concepts that have been put together into use in object-oriented programming. So when you're building solutions, you see those solutions in terms of object, and those solutions will have information about themselves as well as the functions that they would be carrying out or they would be accomplishing. Now we cannot talk about object-oriented programming without talking about classes and objects. So let's do that real quickly. Classes now are blueprint or template which you create your object from. Let's say now you have a house as an object. The sketch which your engineer usually draw on paper before the house is being implemented is what we see as a class. It's just a blueprint or a sketch of what the object is going to look like, or what the house is going to look like when it is being created. Now the object now is the instance of a class. That is, it is the actual implementation of what you've described in your class, containing all the data and all the informations that you've prescribed. So objects cannot exist without classes, because it is when we create classes that we describe how and what they are going to do, which later on will be transformed into object. So that's all for this video. I'll be dropping links for additional resources which you can read further about object-oriented programming and other concepts that are built into this way of writing software. See you on the next one.